stream. With me is Matthias, one of the founders of New Native and LabLab. So yes, like always, I've prepared the most interesting releases from the last couple of days. Yes, so let's get right into this. So the first big thing is Meta AI released codellama, which is built on top of their Llama 2 model. And just like they're saying here in the title, it's a state-of-the-art language model for coding. It basically supports all languages, and there is even some model that is basically made for Python code. And they also have an instruct model, so you can actually instruct it like you can see here, similar to ChatGPT, and then generate code with natural language. Yeah, so let's take a look here at the details really quick. What I found really interesting is this benchmark where it's compared to other models that are out there. So right here you can see the human eval, and you can see that this is pretty close to GPT 3.5. So GPT 3.5 had a score of 48, and the different codellama models down here also had a 48.8, so they're even better. The 34 billion parameter model is even better than GPT 3.5. Yes, and the instruct and Python models are also, so the instruct model is very close to GPT 3.5, and then the model that is only made for Python code, the biggest model has a score of 35. Yes, and if you compare this, for example, to GPT-4, yeah, this is getting closer, and GPT-4 is such a huge model, so that's really interesting to see. Yes, so basically this model is already open source. I actually tried to get the weights for this so I can show this live on stream. But you basically, in order to download these weights, you have to go through this request access, similar to how it was with the llama models at the beginning. Yeah, but like I can see right here that some organization already uploaded these models to Hugging Face. So I'm not sure if these are the official models from Meta, but just if you want to run this by yourself, then this is probably the best way to get them right now. Or you go through the official sign-up process. Yeah, but in my opinion, this is pretty interesting. So this benchmark now comes really close to GPT-4. And yeah, cool to see a model that is made for this domain coding in general.
Yeah. Have we seen anything from reviews around it, or anyone that tried it that had some opinion how well it works?
I have not read something about this, but I mean these scores right here are pretty promising. And yeah, cool to see that there's now a better model than GPT 3.5. Yeah, that you can just self-host. Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. It's really picking up a lot in the open source, or is it open source? The code is open source, but the training is not open source, or?
Yeah, you can basically, the code is open source, then how you can train this is also open source right here on GitHub, but if you want the model weights from an official source, then you would have to go through this request form, and then you can download the codellama model right here.
Oh, awesome. We need to try that one out.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is actually also from Meta. So they introduced this multimodal AI model for speech and text translation. And yeah, let's take a quick look at the key takeaways here. So this model called Seamless M4T, and this is an all-in-one multilingual, multimodal AI translation and transcription model. So it can do speech to text, speech to speech, text to speech, and text to text translations for up to 100 languages. Yeah, so that's really cool to see. Maybe let's have a quick look at this 2-minute video right here.
A new foundational translation model. We call it Seamless M4T. The technology is multimodal. That means that it can understand language from speech or text and generate translations into either or both. It can also transcribe speech into text, and all with a single model. What's very exciting is that it's also massively multilingual. Right now, it supports translation into nearly 100 languages for text and 35 languages for speech. Let's take, for example, the phrase, "Our goal is to create a more connected world." If I say this in Spanish, nuestro objetivo es crear un mundo más conectado. Seamless M4T can translate this phrase into text for nearly 100 different languages. The model can also generate speech-to-speech translation for 35 languages.
Mục tiêu của chúng tôi là tạo ra một thế giới kết nối hơn.
Now, let's talk about code switching. Code switching happens when a multilingual speaker switches between languages while they are speaking. Our model Seamless M4T automatically recognizes and translates more than one language when mixed in the same sentence. As a multilingual speaker, this is a very exciting capability for me. I often switch from Hindi to Telugu when I speak with my dad. Notice in the following example when I change languages. मैं हिंदी, తెలుగు और अंग्रेजी में बोल सकती हूँ. కొన్నిసార్లు నేను ఒకే సంభాషణలో అన్ని 3 భాషలను ఉపయోగిస్తాను.
I can speak Hindi, Telugu, and English. Sometimes I use all 3 languages in one conversation.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. I also like that this is now coming from Meta. So, for example, Mark Zuckerberg always talks about how these platforms are made to connect people. And I think this is just really the real way to do this. Just to break down all language barriers. And yeah, that's really
Yeah,
cool to
this
see.
is amazing. Is it available for people to use?
I'm not even sure about this. But yeah, I will
Yeah,
follow up on this. Yeah, because if this was built into their platforms, then I guess it would make their platform just a lot better.
yeah, definitely. And I don't know. Maybe we mentioned. I feels like I mentioned this in the stream here before when maybe talking about similar stuff. But I remember a bunch of years back, was quite some talk around these new earbuds from Google or Samsung. I don't remember, but the big vision there was that you have these earbuds and somebody are speaking to you in a certain language, but it's just like directly translate the whole voice into whatever language you understand. And I guess that reality is starting to come really close.
Yeah, definitely. So
What was the name? MT4 Seamless.
Seamless M4T. Yeah. Okay, so it seems like you can download or at least find or train this on your own. I'm not sure if there are some weights here. Fine tune. Yes, but basically to the ones that are watching this, you will find all the links on our LabLab AI Discord in the news channel after the stream. So yes, then you can read more about this. And like you can see right here, there's also a Hugging Face space already up where you can test this.
Okay, so then it must be available almost.
Yeah. All right, then let's jump over to our next topics. So now we are basically showing you some projects, some repositories that are out there. So this right here is a project of also a multimodal vision language model. And this is super cool
Mhm.
because basically, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. So there we go. And this has a lot of different capabilities. So all these different parts here are different tasks. So right here you can see that basically it can do visual storytelling. So you give it an instruction and multiple image text pairs. And then it can basically, here the instruction is given the story paired with the first several images. Can you finish the story based on the last image? So now it has a look at all these images, has a look at the texts, and then can basically caption this last image and continue the story. Yeah, that is being created in these first images. And it's really cool to see that we have a model that now basically understands 4 or 5 images at once. So that's really
Mhm.
cool to see. Right here on the right side, we have seen this with GPT-4 and its multimodal capabilities. So this is basically just a chat where you also can upload images and then talk about what is happening in these images. Also pretty cool. Then this in the middle right here is something super interesting because I guess uh, if you're in, so basically let me explain first what this is. So this is text-rich images question answering. So basically, if you have some image, you can answer questions about this image, and then the model will actually answer your questions. And right here, the example is basically this looks like a PowerPoint presentation with some key points. And now you can ask this model, okay, what are the key points about? And I think that's really important because images contain a lot of data, but the data is most of the time, for example, with these diagrams, the data is really unstructured. And with this question answering about images, you can really then get this data out of these images. Yeah, and also maybe index this kind of data. And then if you're looking for something specific, then that was explained in an image or a diagram, yeah, then you can actually use this information in some way.
Mhm. Yeah, that is interesting. What is like what is a real world use case for this?
I mean, let's say, for example, we had this with TrueSense, where they had some basically some manual, but the manual did not only contain text, but also some diagrams, like a flow of what happens when a customer has a problem. Then the problem goes to some support, the support goes to the dev team. But this is like super, because this was an image, it was super unstructured data, and you couldn't really get this data out of the document to work with it programmatically.
Mhm.
And with this, you could now basically ask about what is happening in these images and then get more data out of these images. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is very interesting because, for example, when you're parsing information from a PDF for a presentation, for example, there is a lot of graphic content in various ways that is traditional parsers or ways of parsing it can't really recognize or extract information out of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
guess
that's
this
super
is
cool.
where this comes in super helpful. And
Mm-hmm.
you also have more categories. So you have multi-image reasoning. So you have these 3 dresses right here, and then the instructions are these 3 pictures of clothes similar in their style, and the response is yes. So yeah, it can really have a look at these different images, do some reasoning, and then answer. Yeah, and there are also some more categories it can do, but yeah, if you're interested in this, you will also find a link to this on the BlaBlaBla News channel. They really go into detail of what's happening. They have some more question answering over images right here. Yeah, and then how they trained it. So there are some checkpoints with the Vicuna 7 billion parameter model and some checkpoints with the Llama 7 billion. So yeah, it's cool to see that this is available.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Cheetah.
Yeah, and I think this is super useful because we have not seen a global release of GPT's 4 image image capabilities or multimodal capabilities, which is a bit
Mm-hmm.
sad because we know that it exists. And I would love to just sketch up a website and then have GPT-4 code the website. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but hopefully that comes soon.
Yeah, very very possible. Or use a cluster of different models to extract whatever information you need in each step.
Okay, so the next project is another implementation of text to 3D. And we have seen a bunch of these, and it seems like that with every week the 3D models just look better. So yes, right here there's a good example. So on the left side is, I guess, the older, best project for this, and then on the right side is the newer one. And if I now start this, you can see that the detail is a lot better on this new model for
Yeah.
basically all of these examples.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's really cool that this 3D modeling starting to shape up. That really starting to open up a world of opportunities when you don't need to be a Blender professional to
Yeah,
make stuff.
definitely. Because I guess creating something like this rose right here in Blender just takes hours or days. And yeah, even if you know what you're doing, it still takes probably hours. And if you're not knowing what you're doing, then it will take a month to create something like this. So yes, if you can just
Oh,
write a text prompt and get your 3D models back, that would be really cool.
yeah, definitely, and that these 3D models then can be imported imported and used in other tools are really powerful. You could almost have, I can imagine, a future where you are building something in a real engine or something like that, and now you need something there. You need like you want a village. A village should have a church. Should
Yes,
be
yes.
like in old Western style. There should be some horses there, etc., etc. Or even some scenario playing out in it.
Yeah, the first thing where I saw something that really was fascinating is, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but probably so OpenAI at one point has this JavaScript playground where you could send instructions on the right side. On the left side, it's this canvas where you then can add things and
Yeah.
instruct the model to do things. It's
Yeah. They
probably
had when they released Codex, and then for the upcoming year they had it. I don't know if it exists still. I will take a look.
so it's maybe the website is not here anymore, but this was basically the playground. So you can just provide instructions right here, and on the right side is the code, and then the canvas is here at the top. So yeah, I can imagine that we will see something like this for entire game engines soon, not only a HTML 2D canvas. But yeah, then you can just generate 3D models, generate worlds, generate skyboxes, and create an entire game with natural language.
Yeah, it looks like it's deprecated actually, Codex. But I look
Yes,
at the
yes,
model overview on OpenAI.
yes. I think
It's not
the
there anymore.
3.5 model has better coding capabilities, and it's probably cheaper than Codex. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we were playing around with this one quite a lot in the beginning, and when we were trying to showcase to people, kind of, okay, this is where AI is going, and this is what you can do. And then we were often using this playground and doing some stupid examples. But I know they built a whole space game in it, and if that is this one you are showing, it very likely that it is from. When they were having the initial presentation of Codex, actually, OpenAI, they did a Twitch stream.
yeah, but super cool to see this. Yeah. All right, so then let's jump over to our last topic for today. So this is a Whisper API that you can use, and this is a bit special because basically I've opened the documentation right here. So it's fully built with Python. And in addition to this transcribe endpoint, you also have some user management. So you can basically create a user, then get the user's token. So this is more or less a full ready-to-use API with user management or basic user management. Yes, and they also claim that this is not the base Whisper model, but they have fine-tuned it for even more accurate recognition and transcription. So yeah, really cool to see a project like this. So if you're building in Hackathon, maybe integrating Whisper in some way, you can use this. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I have used for actually, so I will snatch it.
All right, so then that's it for today. So if you're interested in these kinds of technologies and are ready to build with them, yeah, check out Level Up AI and our upcoming events. So we have the stable code hackathon going on right now. So if you're not already enrolled, you can enroll and build something really cool. And we also have the Llama 2 hackathon really soon, and the AudioCraft hackathon and the Game Jam hackathon. So if you're interested in this, yeah, just enroll. And yeah, you will find all the links of this stream in the LabLab Discord.
Awesome.
All right, yeah, then thanks to everyone who's watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. So yeah, bye bye.